Yes, Herbert Hoover, our 31st president here in the US of A. Born Herbert Clark Hoover to Jesse Hoover, a store owner and blacksmith, and Huldah Minthorn on August 10th, 1874 in West Branch, Iowa. Fun fact, he was the first Quaker president. He was raised as a Quaker, the other being Richard Nixon. In 1880, his father died, and 4 years later, in 1884, his mother died. And him and his siblings went to live with their uncle in Oregon. He went to school up until high school when he quit, and then he went to Friends Pacific Academy, or now it's George Fox University, but dropped out early and went to Stanford. He worked for the Oregon Land Company, the Biwak Mooring and Co., and as a consultant and financier. He married Louis Henry in his senior year at Stanford, and they got married. They had 2 children. Herbert Charles Hoover, often called Herbert Hoover Jr., was born in 1903 and became an engineer and businessman. In 1907, Allen Henry Hoover was born, who became a rancher and financier. In 1928, he ran in an election as a Republican, with his vice president being Charles Curtis, against Al Smith, a Democratic governor from New York. He won, only 7 states voting for Smith. He was president for 1 term, serving from 1929 through 1933, being 54 on Inauguration Day. As president, many things happened during his presidency. He was president during the beginning of the Great Depression, and fun fact, he tried to be optimistic and positive about Black Tuesday. When the stock market went he greatly pushed citizens to follow the 18th Amendment and Volstead Act, which prohibited alcohol, starting the Prohibition. He also passed many bills, including the Agricultural Marketing Act of 1929, the Federal Home Loan Bank Act, and the Glass-Steagall Act of 1932, and many others. His presidential salary was surprisingly low for what you might think, as it was only $75,000. And fun fact, he famously refused the salary. When his term was over, he re-ran in the 1933 election. The FDR swept the election. Also, fun fact, he heavily criticizes his successor publicly and in his personal life. His wife, Lou Henry, died in 1944, and Herbert died 20 years later on October 20th, 1964 in New York City, USA. He is now buried in the Herbert Hoover Presidential Library and Museum. Herbert Hoover's presidency could be seen as bad with the Great Depression and crime rise and Prohibition, but it also can be seen as a hard-working man reaching a high goal in life, serving the American people. My sources for this project was Wikipedia, and I only used it for one thing, but the American Presidency Project. I hope you had a fun time listening to me boringly explain our 31st president, Herbert Hoover, and I hope I get a good grade. Yay!